I want to ask you something. When was the last time you sat in complete silence? Not the silence of a waiting room where you're staring at a screen to fill the empty minutes. Not the silence of lying awake at 3 in the morning when the quiet feels more like pressure than peace. I mean real silence, chosen silence, the kind where you put everything down, go somewhere still, and just let the world be quiet around you. For most people, I already know the answer. It has been a long time, maybe years, maybe longer than you want to admit. And I want to talk about why that matters. Not in the way a doctor talks about it. Not with charts and studies and words that take 3 syllables to say. I want to talk about it the way my grandfather talked about most things. Slowly, honestly, from a life actually lived. Because something is happening to people. And I think you feel it, even if you haven't put words to it yet. There is a noise in the world now that wasn't there before. Not just the noise you can hear, the television, the traffic, the notifications that buzz and ping at all hours of the day and night. There is another kind of noise, an interior noise, a constant low hum of worry and distraction and half-finished thoughts that never quite settle. And the body, after a while, starts to carry that noise like it carries everything else. In the jaw, in the shoulders, in the chest, in the ears. I believe that a great deal of what ails people today, the sleeplessness, the foggy thinking, the ringing in the ears that won't stop, the tension that lives in the body like an unwanted guest, I believe much of it is the sound of a person who has forgotten how to be still. Let me tell you what I know about silence and what it can do. My people did not treat silence as emptiness. That is the modern misunderstanding. The modern world hears silence and calls it nothing, something to be filled, something uncomfortable, an absence, a void. We turn on the television the moment we walk through the door. Not because we want to watch anything, but because we cannot stand the quiet. We put in earbuds on a walk through the woods. We scroll through the phone before our eyes are even fully open in the morning. We are afraid of silence. And I think if you sit with that for a moment, you already know it's true. But my people, and many peoples who lived close to the land, understood silence as a presence, not an absence. Silence was not nothing. Silence was the place where everything important lived. It was where you heard the things that couldn't reach you through the noise, your own body talking to you, the part of your mind that holds the deep knowing, the grief you haven't finished grieving, the joy you walked past too quickly to feel. The elders in my tribe went into silence the way other people went to doctors. When something was wrong, when the body was out of balance, when the spirit felt heavy, when the thinking became clouded, the answer was not more, it was less. Strip away the distraction. Sit with the discomfort. Let the silence do what the noise never could. And it worked. Not always quickly, not always in the way the person expected, but it worked. I want to talk about something specific, because I know many of you are living with it. The ringing in the ears. That high, thin sound that sits at the edge of your hearing. Sometimes barely there. Sometimes so loud at night that sleep becomes a negotiation. Doctors have a word for it. They run their tests. They tell you there is no cure, only management. And you go home with that news and try to manage. I am not a doctor. I will never pretend to be. But I have watched and listened for a very long time. And I want to offer you something the medical office rarely has time to say. The body speaks in symptoms, always. Every sensation, every pain, every strange new sound the body makes. It is the body trying to tell you something, not punishing you, not failing you, communicating. And one of the things the body says when it has been carrying noise for too long, external noise, internal noise, the noise of stress and worry and a mind that never rests. One of the things it says is, I cannot find quiet, so I am making you look for it. I am not saying the ringing in your ears is caused only by stress or only by not resting enough. Bodies are complex, causes are many. But I have seen, more times than I can count, what happens when a person finally stops, really stops, spends time in genuine quiet, reduces the input, slows the pace, breathes like they mean it. The body begins to exhale something it has been holding for years. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, the noise softens. My grandmother had a practice she did every single day of her life. Before the sun came fully up, she would go outside. She would sit on the ground, the actual ground, not a chair, with her back against a tree or a rock. She would close her eyes, and she would do nothing for as long as it took to feel the silence settle around her like water settling in a still pool. She called it listening before speaking. The idea was that you could not offer anything true to the day until you had first been quiet enough to receive something from it. She lived to be very old. Her mind stayed clear long after the minds of people half her age had clouded over. Her body carried its years with a dignity I have tried my whole life to learn from. I used to think it was luck, good blood, a strong constitution. Now I know better. It was the silence. Every morning, without fail, she went to the well and she filled herself back up. And she never let herself run dry. Here's what the noise does to the body when it never stops. The nervous system, the part of you that runs underneath everything, that governs your heart rate and your digestion and the tension in your muscles and the quality of your sleep. The nervous system is not designed for constant input. It was designed for a world that had rhythms, activity and rest, sound and quiet, day and night. When the input never stops, the nervous system stays in a state of alert, not full alarm, just ready, waiting, slightly braced all the time. And a body that is slightly braced all the time does things. It holds tension in places you don't notice until they start to hurt. It affects the blood. It affects the way the brain processes and clears itself during sleep. It affects the tiny, intricate structures of the inner ear, which are more sensitive to stress and circulation than most people realize. I am not speaking in metaphor now. This is the body. This is what happens. And the answer, part of the answer, is as old as the oldest peoples on this earth. Go somewhere quiet. Sit down. Breathe slowly. Do this every day, not for 10 minutes as a productivity exercise. Do it because the body needs it the way it needs water. I want to tell you how to find silence, because I know that for many people it does not come easily anymore. The first thing is this: silence is not the absence of sound. True inner silence can exist even in a world that is making noise. What you are looking for is not a soundproof room. What you are looking for is the place inside you that is not reacting. Start outside if you can. There's something about the sounds of the natural world, wind, water, birds, the movement of trees, that the nervous system recognizes as safe in a way that no man-made sound does. A river does not alarm the body. Traffic does. Even quietly, even when you've stopped noticing it, the distinction lives inside you. Find 10 minutes in the morning before you look at a screen, before the phone, before the news, before the voices of the world start filling the room. Sit. Look at whatever is in front of you. Sky, backyard, a single tree, a candle flame. Breathe in slowly and out slowly. And don't try to think about anything in particular. The mind will try to fill the space. That's what minds do. Let it try. You don't have to chase every thought. Watch them the way you watch clouds. They move through, and then they're gone, and the sky is still there. Give the noise less power by giving it less attention, and give the silence more of your mornings. I will tell you something I learned late in my own life, something I wish I had understood 50 years earlier. The silence is not waiting for you to deserve it. It is not a reward for the people who have everything figured out. It is not something you earn by finishing the work, or solving the problems, or reaching some point of calm that feels perpetually out of reach. The silence is available right now, this moment, to anyone willing to stop and let it in. The noise will tell you that you don't have time for this. The noise will tell you there is something more urgent. The noise will remind you of every unfinished thing and make the idea of stillness feel irresponsible, even selfish. That is the noise protecting itself. Don't listen to it. Because here is what I have seen in a long life of watching people. The ones who carved out silence, who treated it as essential, not optional, who protected it the way they protected their most important relationships, those people aged differently. They thought more clearly. Their bodies held up longer. Their eyes stayed bright. They were present in a way that people noticed without being able to explain it. They had found the place inside the noise where everything goes quiet, and they went there every day without fail. So I want to leave you with this. The world is loud. It will keep being loud. That is not going to change. But you do not have to be loud inside. You do not have to carry all of it. The news, the worry, the plans, the fears, the half-heard conversations and half-processed moments that pile up like leaves in the corner of a room no one has swept in years. You can put it down. Not permanently, not forever, just for a little while, every morning, before the world asks everything of you again. My grandmother sat against her tree. My grandfather sat by the fire. I sit by the river. You have your own place. You may have forgotten about it. That's all right. Go find it again. The silence is still there, right where you left it. And inside the silence, your body knows exactly what it needs. It has been trying to tell you. You just have to be still long enough to listen.